of room for advancement.
Good morning, Breakers. This is Scott Miller from Midwest Bank. When I recently joined Midwest Bank, I was immediately impressed by our exceptional service. My first customer made the switch from a large corporate bank and didn't have to wait in line or call a 1-800 number. We treated him like family. He now visits the bank just to say hello. While other banks go corporate, we stay Nebraska. Visit us at midwest.bank or drop by a branch today. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Nebraska men's basketball is dancing. The Huskers qualified for the NCAA tournament, and 93.7 The Ticket is here to cover all the action. Follow me, Austin Orman, on all 93.7 The Ticket social media platforms for updates throughout Nebraska's appearance in the Big Dance. Our coverage from Oklahoma City is made possible by Sandhills Careers and Insight Partners.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to March Mayhem. Live coverage of the NCAA tournament from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, that's good.
You're listening to Bock in the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley, defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror, number 43.
And Jake Bockoven. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
Welcome to Bock in the Black Shirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. It is Friday, March 20th, 2026, and we are live at Buffalo Wings and Rings for day 2 of March Madness. Bock, I know your bracket is terrible.
Yes, it is.
Mine is no better than yours, but it's still a day that we seen the Huskers win their first NCAA tournament in 8 tries.
Yeah, it's still settling in for me. I mean, it was kind of funny. I said leading up into it, there's going to be a lot of tears yesterday. What I didn't realize is there's going to be a lot of waking up in the middle of the night and thinking about Nebraska basketball afterwards. So it just kind of opens up this whole new world. There's no ceiling to Nebraska basketball now. That's not a shameful stat that anybody can throw out there. And here we are as part of the story of the tournament because of the fan base that headed out there. Vanderbilt's coach is already kind of talking about playing an away game in a neutral site, quote unquote, environment. It is just going to be incredible. I don't know if along with a lot of Husker Nation, I don't know if my feet have touched the ground yet still from that. But as far as my bracket goes, I was looking in the 93.7 The Ticket tournament bracket challenge. I was like 364th. So I might be owing you and Kenny some wings here pretty soon.
All right, Bock. Some people was talking about how Nebraska took over in OKC. Spoken from a St. Mary's fans. He said, you guys show up like gremlins. Don't feed them after midnight. They might multiply. So Nebraska showed up big yesterday in OKC. But a lot of things about the men's, but we need the same crowd today as we did for the men's, for the women today, Wes. They take on Baylor at 1 p.m. today.
Yeah, we'll see, and I don't think it'll be the same crowd, but at least hopefully there will be a good contingent of Husker fans there. But yeah, the Husker women again, I think have kind of passed the bar now. Have had a successful season, kind of playing with house money. You're in the NCAA tournament, of course. Any team that is there wants to win it. So while I can say that from the outside, as far as expectations, all that sort of stuff goes, they're going to want to win it. And if they do, it'll be the best victory of the season. And again, that's kind of where Troy was yesterday. It's where a lot of teams are when you go in the NCAA tournament. But for Nebraska, a team that's been in the top 25, kind of had that barrier this year of struggling against top 25 teams. Here we are playing Baylor from Cameron Indoor, which is awesome. I mean, anybody's goal would be to play in Cameron Indoor. Of course, Duke likely awaiting the victor in this one, but it'll be fun. Kind of a watch party here at Buffalo Wings and Rings. Once again, we had that yesterday. It was absolutely unbelievable, the amount of Husker fans that were here. It's a shared experience that I will not soon forget. And hopefully we can do a similar thing. Again, maybe not as much history on the line, but the season on the line for the Husker women as they try to get it done today in survive and advance mode at the NCAA tournament.
As we watched Nebraska yesterday, start off a little slow, got in the flow of things. Price Sanford, definitely the MVP of this team. Jamarcus Lawrence showed up. Just a great outing. Young guys got to play Bock. Is this Nebraska putting the nation on notice that they will not go down without a fight when it comes down to the NCAA tournament?
Well, I think it was a good story for Nebraska, a great story altogether, kind of blended in. Depending on kind of what happened, might have been the lead story yesterday, but it was a great Thursday, right? I mean, you had the upset with High Point, the story that was with their three-point shooter who made his first 2-point field goal this season in Chase Johnston to help them get the victory over Wisconsin. Then his highlight tape went viral, and that guy just shoots from anywhere, which was awesome. But, that North Carolina had the biggest they gave up a 19-point lead, lost there to VCU, so that was kind of a big story there. The Duke game was close. So there were some other stories going there, and I think the Nebraska one certainly grabs the attention of NCAA fans, again, because of the historic nature behind it, but also just the fan base that was there. However, again, now moving forward, I think it's more time for Nebraska to prove that they can put themselves on the map, right? People might have thought Troy was, it was one of the popular 13-4 upsets, but a lot of that was just doubting Nebraska basketball. I think there's still going to be doubt until Nebraska makes a legitimate run. Beating Troy was awesome. And again, I want to put that in bold, highlight it, all that sort of stuff because of how new it was to Nebraska. But, the Kentuckys, the North Carolinas, the Dukes, all those teams that greatly want to compete for championships, you're not celebrating that as much. You're not getting a whole lot of national notice by beating a mid-major. And so now it's kind of that next step is if Nebraska can beat Vanderbilt, then you're one of 16 teams left. Then you've got a whole week of, you got to go to Houston, all that sort of stuff, prepare, but you've got the media kind of everybody buying in, some time to kind of breathe it in and see the history that Nebraska is making. So it is kind of funny and it's quick how it goes, but in this tournament and by the nature of winning this game, you immediately go from that was the biggest game in Husker basketball history to here comes the biggest game in Husker basketball history against Vanderbilt because you've never been this close to a championship. You want to get closer.
Yeah, Bock, I love everything that's going on right now. Bock, when we talk about Nebraska scoring yesterday, led by Price Sanford, 23 points, 7 for 13, 7 3-pointers, Bock. 7 3-pointers.
Yeah.
Probably the best shooter right now in this tournament. The more he goes, the more Nebraska goes, I think. When we talk about this Vanderbilt team, struggled with McNeese State yesterday. I thought for a second we was going to play McNeese State. Yeah. But when you look at the other guys who got going, Brandon Frager had 13 points. Jamarcus Lawrence had 13 points. Rick Mass had 11 points. Sammy didn't have a great shooting day, but he still had 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 8 defensive rebounds. So Sammy did his job. I just say it was a great all-around performance by this team, and I'm very excited to see them beat a Vanderbilt team. I still have Nebraska going to at least to the Sweet 16 on my bracket, but this gives me more confidence as I see them play how they played yesterday.
Well, yeah, and I think that's how Nebraska fans can definitely look at it. It's not just the victory and the fact that you finally did it. Is that Nebraska played really well, and you can get caught up, and certainly the box score is going to show you a whole sorts of numbers there for Nebraska. And again, that's important. Jamarcus Lawrence getting going again, 4 of 8 from the field. That's his best game that we've seen from him in quite some time. So that was beautiful to see. Braden Frager, like you said, on the attack. Could be a little bit more efficient, but we'll take it in the win either way with 13 points off the bench. You need that from your Big Ten sixth man of the year. Rink Mass continued to play well. So there's plenty to kind of, and I do want to highlight his 7 assists, led the team there for Rink Mass. As well as another double-digit scoring effort from him with 11 points. So, again, there's a lot of reasons offensively to look at these guys and say, man, that was good. But what gets me excited is that defense. Troy with just 47 points. I don't care who you are. If you make the NCAA tournament, you should pack a little bit more punch. And it wasn't just the fact that they got 47. It was watching it. It was difficult for them to get an open look. And really turn that thing into much of a ball game. The only reason why it was early, Victor Valdez, who is and just altogether, I mean, he shot 4 of 6 from beyond the arc. Not that he's incapable of doing it; he shoots quite a bit. But his numbers on the season were like 22% from beyond the arc. He hit the first 2 to help Troy get out to that lead, and then ended up 4 of 6. You can't count on that from Valdez, so it would have been even worse without some of his kind of desperation threes that did go in. That defense is what's going to travel for Nebraska. I think that fan base is going to travel too.
All right, Bock, brackets. We know
God.
that everybody's bracket is terrible. There's only 10,754 brackets. That's perfect, Bock. That's 0.004%, Bock, of the millions that was made.
Yeah.
Only
beautiful thing.
Yeah, and I think who has a perfect one? Let me see.
So we got to check the ticket bracket, see if anybody's.
Oh yeah,
well there.
I'll go to the ticket bracket. We'll go to the ticket bracket, and we'll see who's the first place person in that one.
But yeah, there's a couple of bracket buster games yesterday, and I expect hopefully a few more. I mean, again, that's why we love this. We love these days, Thursday and Friday. Come on down to Buffalo Wings and Rings. By the way, again, we are out here until 6 o'clock. It was such a great time here with Nebraska's victory yesterday. Today, you can breathe a little bit and just enjoy the madness. A lot of people take this Friday off from work, and maybe we're hoping Nebraska is going to be able to play on Friday. But if you're off, come on down to Buffalo Wings and Rings.
All right, Bock, yes. Sean Thompson, he's number 1.
He's our number 1.
In the ticket. Behind him is Firethorn, JDJ, Go Big Red. Second, it's a tie for quite a few of them. Big Mama's House, Shoot Dang, Waverly Gym. Third place. There's a lot of people in it, Bob, but it's still early. So
yeah, but just one bracket. What was that with 160 points? That was the leader.
Yeah, 160 points.
So I wonder how they're going. It's always fun to see if somebody can, maybe they picked High Point. I don't know if they had a friend that went to High Point or something like that. Maybe just knew, did some advanced scouting there. But yeah,
I'm sitting at 364, Bob.
364.
Yeah,
that's not very good.
I wonder where Kenny Wilhite got. You checked what did he go by on his?
I think we just named it Kenny. I don't know if Kenny Will. I don't know if you can search for it. There's of course plenty of names in there, and we appreciate everybody that joined in again this year. But we'll have to kind of see where he's at. But either way, that's for tracking purposes. If you've got your champion, if you've got your Final Four, these first few days got to get messy with everybody's bracket. But that's where you still want to be. So unless you picked Wisconsin or North Carolina to win the title, then your brackets are really done.
Yeah. All right, Bock, is hour 45 before Nebraska women play. Nice crowd showing up here at Buffalo Wings and Rings on 68th and O. The women play Baylor at 1 p.m. today.
Yeah, and that's going to be fun. Again, if you want to join us here, a bit of a watch party to do that. That's when the second Bock and the Blackshirt will start, actually. Yeah. Because we got an hour here, then we've got Adam Carricker coming up, and then Bock and the Blackshirt once again. So that'll be kind of our watch party. Of course, there'll be some other games going on as well. Nebraska, just in general, as far as following sports, I mean, the wrestling I can see is on. I think they're getting going here. Going to be a big day for them. Baseball, softball's got some games out on the road in Michigan, in Michigan State, respectively, to play. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll track all of that as it goes down. But yeah, before we're done here, hopefully we'll be saying the same thing for the women that we did with the men, which is, hey, they're still playing. They're still marching on.
All right, let's go to break right now, and we'll be back. Bock in the Blackshirt live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O, Lincoln, Nebraska.
You're listening to March Mayhem. Live coverage of the NCAA tournament from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Looking to get a room downtown or near South Lincoln? Abe Lincoln would tell you no to the Ford Theater and yes to Lincoln Hotel. Save up to 40% off downtown Lincoln prices with a nice clean room and comfortable stay. Lincoln Hotel is locally owned and offers a day pass to the city's largest locally owned gym, Good Life Fitness. Long-term stays are available. You can learn more about pricing and book your Lincoln Hotel stay today at staylnk.com or call 402-600-0565. That's staylnk.com or call 402-600-0565.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies with a light breeze. It'll be warm with an afternoon high near 85. Tonight, mainly clear skies and calm winds, low around 50. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies return. Be breezy and hot with a high near 93. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Biggest question people have is, how do I start the process? What is the process? I want to build a new home, but I don't know what the first step is.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
The first step is make an appointment. Come on into my office. Let's sit around the table. Let's talk about what you're looking for, what your needs are, what your budget might be. And let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. And get a house that you're going to be happy with. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done. Once you find a good lot, let's get it reserved because there's a very limited number of lots in this town. And then start designing that floor plan that's going to be perfect for you. Next thing you know, we're moving dirt.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Sandhills Global is growing right here in Lincoln. With our expanding campus and continued growth, we're hiring across a wide range of careers, from interns to experienced professionals. Join the team at Sandhills Global and build your career with competitive pay, great benefits, and real opportunities to grow. Visit sandhills.jobs to view openings and apply today. That's sandhills.jobs.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, Call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppo Chevrolet GMC, and we are very excited to announce our spring sales event happening now at Coppo. We have 0% financing or up to $13,000 off select GMC and Chevrolet inventory. You heard that right, 0%. Or $13,000 off select inventory. We'd love to see you at the store or check us out online at coppocars.com. Folks, this is really confident buying and confident driving. Stock number C127238 and G1739977 with approved credit.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
The best barbecue deal in town is at Hog Wild. We're serving up a $5.99 meal deal that includes a one-meat sandwich, your favorite classic side, and a drink, all for just $5.99. Craving brisket? Upgrade to our tender, slow-smoked beef brisket for only $1.50 more. Join us for lunch or dinner, or order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway, Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
At Schwezo Construction, safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Build with us. Work safe, go home proud. We're hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back, on and off the job site. If you're ready to be part of a company where your safety and success come first, visit Schwezo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com and apply today. Schwezo Construction, 40 years strong and still building the future.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
You're listening to March Mayhem, live coverage of the NCAA tournament from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Blackshirt here on 93.7 the Ticket. We are powered. Power. We're at
Excavating.
Yes, we are live here at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O Street in Lincoln, Nebraska. But Chuck Norris passed away yesterday, man. Great legend, man. I love everything that Chuck played in, especially Texas Walker Ranger.
Yeah, absolutely. Chuck Norris was definitely an icon, and for many, I liked all the jokes that kind of come out, like, the boogeyman checks under his bed for Chuck Norris, all those sort of stuff. Those jokes are especially good. But, yeah, especially I remember growing up watching a lot of Walker, Texas Ranger and him battling off foes. And, so it is it's unfortunate, of course, anytime a celebrity passes away or, anybody departs this earth. And certainly for Chuck, hopefully it can be a moment of celebration for many. Thankfully, at least in his case, he was able to make it to, I think he was 85, 86 years old. He was 86 years old that he made it to, and certainly lived a good life.
All right, Bob, as we look at the indicator, we're looking at the indicator for the 11th seed Nebraska Cornhuskers women and the 6th seed Baylor Bears. Baylor's 24-8, Nebraska's 19-12. Bob, when you look at the predictor, they're going with Nebraska with a 55% chance to win this game, Bob.
I'd love to see it, at least as far as those predictions go, right? You never know. Could be. Again, for me, it still feels like Nebraska needs to kind of get over the hump of not beating top 25 teams, and Baylor is just that. But, you look at them, they maybe struggling a little bit as of late. Have lost 3 of their last 5 games. Some of that against some pretty good competition, but nevertheless, maybe an opening here for the Huskers to get it going. Baylor is a very good team, as we know, coming in at 24-8. Played in a pretty good Big 12 there. Went 13-5 in conference play for the Baylor Bears. Of course, historically, a very good team, including they beat Duke even to start off this year. Of course, the winner of this game likely will match up with Duke, so that could be interesting. They did lose to the likes of Iowa, Texas, mostly top 25 teams until recently when they lost to Colorado, who was not ranked. So, kind of interesting. Nebraska's getting a little bit of an edge there. It surprised me a little bit from ESPN, but I'll take it. But of course, more importantly than that is going to be if they can get it done on the court, which, with Britt Brents and the group out there, don't want to count them out. Again, it would be their biggest win of the season, but what better time to do it than now?
All right, Bock. Bill and Bennett says, isn't it disappointing that the Big Ten is talking more, BTN is talking more about Ohio State and Wisconsin losing than they are about the Huskers winning?
Well, it can be if that's when you're tuning in. Certainly, they're going to be looking at everybody across the league and try to cover everybody. And so, when seasoned in, it's a big deal, especially for those programs that historically have had some more success in March and maybe expected a little bit more. Specifically, Wisconsin. Obviously, Ohio State was going to be in a tough matchup one way or the other with TCU, and that came down to the end. I mean, I would focus on the positive, sure, and Nebraska fans make a pretty good case for you just to kind of cover the Huskers there. But they gotta do what they gotta do. I have been. I mean, again, I think part of the fun this past night was just kind of keeping refreshing Twitter and seeing the next stories. We got a good group, not just here at 93.7 The Ticket, but in general out there covering the Huskers and of course the Vanderbilt matchup and all that sort of stuff. It's just kind of fun to follow along. You mentioned earlier, maybe some other crowd reaction from other fans that are there that we saw. Shout out to Nate Brennan, by the way. He was, I think he was the one on that story. But it's just been, it's been awesome. But yeah, I mean, I don't think BTN's ever going to cover Nebraska enough to Nebraska fans liking.
All right, Bock. What's one of the games that caught your attention yesterday that really had you watching it? I know it was some pretty good games, but if I had to pick a game out that probably was good yesterday, which one would you pick?
Well, I think to me, and maybe it's just, again, I like the Blue Bloods. I like those stories. I think the VCU North Carolina game might have stuck out to me the most. There's just a lot going on there. The Hubert Davis afterwards, was asked why, he played his starters so much and if fatigue came into it. He didn't want to admit to that. And it's just kind of interesting altogether with North Carolina and Hubert Davis, who, of course, his first year with Roy Williams players, you could always argue, went to the NCAA tournament championship game, right? But since then, it's been kind of rough. Barely skated in last year. Some would say even, remember that whole who's on the committee and all that sort of stuff that went in that got Carolina in. And now you have this first-round exit. Of course, without Caleb Wilson, it was going to be uphill skiing for North Carolina to make a long run. But in this particular game, they had a 19-point lead. And then Henry Vasseur, I specifically think about them because, he's a guy that, along with Caleb Wilson, had a pretty good season. Wilson, obviously, the leader of that team. Vasseur, kind of the second-best player, had some injuries, all that sort of stuff. But that, this is when you can have a great season at Carolina. This is when your legacy is made. And he had a couple mistakes down the stretch, a big turnover in overtime against VCU, and then a missed free throw at the front with one that they needed, and then did not properly execute his missed free throw, which they needed to try to get a rebound there. So, I specifically kind of think about those guys in the modern era that we're in. It's no secret now. He probably got a pretty good amount of money to go to North Carolina this past year out of the transfer portal. And so I just kind of wonder, legacy-wise, how all that stuff kind of plays in. But one way or the other, whenever you got a brand like Carolina and you got a coach that's struggling, it's interesting. And Hubert Davis, I think, is probably good for this offseason, but is going to be entering next year needing to do something to keep wearing his alma mater's colors there on the sidelines.
Yeah, Bock, you're right about that one. Bock, when I look at the games yesterday, I thought probably the last night game when we talk about the BYU-Texas game. Texas coming off playing in a play-in game, didn't have 100% of their legs. They said they got in late that Thursday night. What was that, Wednesday night? They played Thursday. They upset BYU. BYU big man, what's his name?
AJ DeMonster.
Yeah, AJ. He played his heart out, Bob. Probably seen his last college game yesterday.
Yeah, certainly did. And of course, Nebraska was able to face him in the early going in the non-con, or excuse me, the exhibition game. Actually didn't count for Nebraska's record, but that was a very cool. I mean, BYU just hasn't been the same. We've talked about it. They're not fully loaded, right? They lost one of their players, an 18-point scorer, here late in the season, and they just haven't been able to return to the same as you probably wouldn't think so, right? It was Richie Sanders is the name. They had 3 guys on the team average over 18 points per game. They were very led by those 3. And, of course, you kind of think maybe back to those late Tim Miles teams. There are teams that are built like that. And when you lose one of those guys, it's just hard to bounce back. Now, that being said, it was kind of entertaining. I only saw I think it was the first midway through the first half, whenever they talked to Texas's head coach Sean Miller, and it was just a funny interview because they were like, "Okay, the advance is going off already. What are you going to do to stop him?" It's like, "There's nothing we can do to stop him." And so, but ultimately, I think they adjusted pretty well. What he ended up with 23, he averages 25. So you'll live with that with your Texas, and then once again, here we are as usual. That play-in game. Similar to the college football playoff, maybe something in there where it's kind of warming you up, getting you going. Texas, of course, won their play-in game at the buzzer against North Carolina State, then come back and beat BYU, and now set up with another matchup here down the line with Gonzaga, or not down the line here, coming up on Saturday with Gonzaga. So I hate to see that it happens to anybody in Texas colors because I just can't stand that university. But at least for the team, they're still rolling.
All right, Bock. NCAA tourney record so far, Bock. It won't click. Oh, there we go. Big Ten, 4-2 yesterday. Big 12, 2-1. WCC 1-1. ACC 1-2-3. Atlantic 10, 2-0. MAC 1-0. SEC 6-1.
Good start for the SEC.
Yeah, good start for the SEC. Not a good start by the Big Ten, man. We thought the Big Ten was a powerful, more conference. I think Wisconsin showed us that, what happened to them. And then we look at Ohio State team that came back, battled that whole game. So, I like the Ohio State players better because they battled that whole game. But, when Wisconsin plays a team like High Point, you're supposed to beat those teams, Bob.
Yeah, you don't want to be the one that is losing there, but I mean, it's interesting too with Greg Gard. It's kind of becoming a thing with him. He's been in Wisconsin for a long time now, and his ceiling has been the Sweet 16. And of course, that would be obviously welcome here in Nebraska. There's plenty of places that's great, but for as long as he's been there, and as much as he's had them competitive, it's not like they're just putting in all their resources to barely make the tournament. I mean, they're generally a pretty high seed. And they're losing a lot of these games, especially in the early rounds. So I'm interested. Greg Gard has been a really good coach there in Madison, but just seems to have his own type of problems in March. And here it happened again for Wisconsin. Like you said, the Ohio State game, TCU, that was going to be a toss-up. I don't hold that too much against them. Illinois, Michigan State, I mean, they ran away with their victories, which maybe you would say as would be expected. But like you said, you got to get it done on the court. So. I think that it was a solid day for the Big Ten, along with Nebraska, of course, getting that win. You had 3 teams with pretty sizable victories, one upset and one 50-50 game that didn't go your way. So fair enough there. But again, the pressure to me is interesting when you look at these different coaches and their resumes start to pile up, whether that be, like I was saying there from North Carolina's head coach, Hubert Davis, which I think is a lot more interesting. I don't think Greg Gard's in any trouble. It's just, at some point, you got to make a run. I mean, they're good enough year in and year out to make a run. And for whatever reason, he just doesn't seem to be getting the most out of them in tournament action.
Oh, Bock, I guess this day keeps getting worse. Mean Joe Green, rest in peace to Mean Joe Green.
Yeah, I did not see that.
Yeah, 79 years old, defensive tackle, Pittsburgh Steelers, Mean Joe Green.
Yeah, that's too bad. Of course, one of the best to ever do it there, like you said, with the Steelers. 4-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 72 and 74. Just a 10-time Pro Bowler, one of the mainstays there for the Steelers and that steel curtain. So, yeah, like you said, stuff tough to see. Hopefully, and then, of course, he's also known for the Hey Kid Catch commercial with Coca-Cola and all that with the Super Bowl. One of the most famous Super Bowl commercials. But, yeah, that's sad to see that another one of our celebrities here passing away here from the football side of things. 79 years old. Again, similar to Chuck Norris, at least hopefully was able to live out a very fulfilled life. And from the outside, it certainly looks like it.
All right, Bock, let's go to break and come back. And we'll try to see if the crowd can get a little bigger, Bock, before we get to this Nebraska tip-off against Baylor coming up in less than an hour and 30 minutes here at 93.7 The Ticket.
You're listening to March Mayhem, live coverage of the NCAA tournament from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for something different for lunch or dinner in Lincoln? Big 8 is now open at 1226 P Street, serving seafood boils and Asian cuisine. Get your hands messy with fresh, flavorful seafood boils, hot, cold, and made to share. Or enjoy classic Chinese and Asian dishes, perfect for lunch, dinner, or a night out with friends and family. Big flavors, generous portions, and a brand new dining experience. Big 8, now open in Lincoln.
Good morning, Breakers. This is Scott Miller from Midwest Bank. When I recently joined Midwest Bank, I was immediately impressed by our exceptional service. My first customer made the switch from a large corporate bank and didn't have to wait in line or call a 1-800 number. We treated him like family. He now visits the bank just to say hello. While other banks go corporate, we stay Nebraska. Visit us at midwest.bank or drop by a branch today. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Want to make the easy call? Call John Henry's. From leaky pipes to a broken AC, flickering lights to furnace fights, even drains and duct cleaning, we've got it handled. Plumbing, heating, air, and electrical, all under one trusted roof. Proudly serving homes across Lincoln, Omaha, and surrounding areas and ready 24/7. Visit calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Looking to get a room downtown or near South Lincoln? Abe Lincoln would tell you no to the Ford Theater and yes to Lincoln Hotel. Save up to 40% off downtown Lincoln prices with a nice clean room and comfortable stay. Lincoln Hotel is locally owned and offers a day pass to the city's largest locally owned gym, Good Life Fitness. Long-term stays are available. You can learn more about pricing and book your Lincoln Hotel stay today at staylnk.com or call 402-600-0565. That's staylnk.com or call 402-600-0565.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Do you ever feel okay in your current job and profession, but wonder if there's a better company that can offer more? Vision Mechanical is now hiring for journeyman plumbers and HVAC service technicians. Vision Mechanical offers top-of-the-industry wages, 100% paid health, disability, and life insurance, 401k with employee match, and paid holidays and vacation. Vision Mechanical believes in craftsmanship, teamwork, and building a better future one project at a time. Apply today or learn more at visionmechanical.net or email Ron at vmech.net. At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion, for happier, healthier, furry friends.
You're listening to March Mayhem. Live coverage of the NCAA tournament from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt on air and online at theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to Bock and the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We're on Monday through Friday from 1 to 3, but it's a special box, so we have to come on early these last 2 days. By the way, we want to take back the Mean Joe Green talk. I guess there's a hoax going around on X and Facebook and everywhere else, Bob.
Yeah, it's a shame that happens. I think that, kind of maybe trying to get something out of the, Chuck Norris passing. I don't know. Somebody started an internet rumor. Mean Joe Green, as far as we know, is still doing well, which is better news than, the hoax indicated there. By the way, we are already under action here with college basketball going. Santa Clara and Kentucky tipped it off first, about 6:40 to go there in the first half. Kentucky with a 23-18 lead over Santa Clara in the 7-10 matchup. 5:12, Texas Tech and Akron. Texas Tech, that one just started with a 6-3 lead at this point. About 15-25 to go in the first there. So, again, make your way down to Buffalo Wings and Rings here. Delicious food. I know you're just about to order here and have some food here once the show wraps up and watch some basketball with us.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna have a nice day, Bob. But I want to switch attention to the NCAA 2026 wrestling scores. After 1 day, Penn State is comfortable. I wouldn't say comfortable, but they're number one with 40.5 points, Bob. Number two is Nebraska, 27 points. Number three, after day one, Iowa, 25.5 points. Number four, 25 points, Oklahoma State. And number five, rounding out the top five, is Ohio State, 23 points. Then Iowa is six with 21.5 points. So, Bob, Nebraska's doing their thing. I think all 10 guys did advance to session number 2 today. It's already underway. I'm gonna go check the score in a little while and give a update when we come back in hour number 2. And plus in hour number 2, we're gonna talk a little college football about. We're gonna talk a little Nebraska football. We're gonna talk about a little rules that they came up with and that the new rules that implanted in college football.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Never a bad day to talk college football. Of course, Derek Pearson, DP, is down with the wrestling at the championship. So it has been kind of viewed for a long time. And in the last couple of years, unfortunately, Penn State has just dominated so much that it's a race to second. Of course, Nebraska did so well that they did finish second last year. Like you said, after day one, kind of in a similar point. 7 wrestlers now in the quarterfinals, including Brock Hardy, Chance Lamer, Antrell Taylor, Christopher Minto, Silas Allred, Camden McDaniel, and AJ Ferrari. So hopefully the Huskers continue to do well. Of course, Antrell Taylor specifically is defending his national championship, and maybe we'll see him or a few others get past that and get it done here. So we'll have to see, like you said, continue to update you there or follow DP on social media. I'm sure he'll continue updating as well.
All right, Bock, what else we got this weekend?
Well, it'll be interesting, of course, with the basketball game at 7:45. I think people should at least know that. We know the tip time now is 7:45 for Nebraska and Vanderbilt. So that is the one to look out for. Again, also in Husker sports here, Husker baseball is at Michigan. They bring a 11-game win streak in to this game. Michigan 0-3 in the Big Ten, 10-9. But you're playing in Ann Arbor, so you never know what can happen in baseball. But the Huskers are hot. Like I said, 11-game winning streak. That'll be around 3:00 on BTN Plus for today's action. Then they'll have some games here Saturday and Sunday. Husker softball will take on Michigan State. That is here in Lincoln. Sparty also 0-3 in Big Ten play, 13-13 overall. Should be another good weekend for Nebraska softball. They are on a 10-game winning streak of their own, depending on their poll, anywhere from 5 to 9 in the polls. So softball going strong, baseball going strong together. It's kind of like the men's and women's basketball team. Here we are at the end of the season in the tournament play for them, and there was a time when they were 2 of the only undefeated teams in their respective sports. Now, these teams aren't undefeated in softball and baseball, but 10 and 11 game winning streaks you'll definitely take from both of them, as a Husker fan.
Yeah, Bob, I just love what every sport has been able to stay competitive in the Big Ten play, especially in national play. When we talk about ranking wise, and we're talking about like the men's and women's team in the NCAA tournament, you had a softball team off to a fabulous start, defeated 2 number 1 teams already. You had a wrestling program always in the top 5 of programs. Now we have the bowling girls. We still have those. Rifle team, shot put young lady won national title the other day. So Nebraska sports is rolling. We just need to get the football team together.
Yeah, and of course the spring game just over a week away, which is crazy to think of and crazy to even say. Of course, they took this past week off. We'll get back to it. Well, because of spring break, we'll get back to it basically game week, preparing you for the spring game. So we'll have plenty of coverage of that next week. And hopefully, of course, a lot of talk's been, well, what if Nebraska makes the Elite Eight? That game will be on potentially that day. Again, we'll have to see how the schedule plays out, but very well could be one of the greatest days of Husker history if you can get the spring game and an Elite Eight game in there. Of course, a lot of work to be done for Nebraska before then. Many people certainly, even if you do give Nebraska the victory over Vanderbilt, you're likely playing a number 1 seed in Florida after that. So, there has to be some work done between then and now on the basketball team side to get it there. But the football team, one way or the other, we're going to get a spring game a week from now. And again, I'm just interested to see what the reaction is to the spring game and to see how many people show up. Of course, last year, no spring game. They did the Husker game. You were out there on the field tossing tires. I enjoyed Husker games. They just didn't have, as much, I don't know if it was time, preparation, whatever it was, not as many people in the building. Are you going to return to that when you also combine that with, of course, the disappointing end of last season? Lack of buzz has kind of been the talking point for Nebraska football, and they're trying to, they're kind of embracing it. Yeah, let's just kind of get dirty and do the work and let football do our own talking for us. But of course, what's that going to mean in spring game attendance? I'm certainly interested.
Yeah, Bock, that's the strange thing about that. I wish it was pushed back a couple more weeks, like regular spring ball. But Matt Rule wanted to do something do something different this year. We're going to talk about spring all next week, and we're going to talk about some of the challenges Nebraska faces in spring ball. As young man, I think Jamal Rule had his name said a whole bunch of times about him competing more for the starting job this year, Bock. And it'll be surprising to me that a freshman comes in and take all those guys' spot. But if he's a great freshman like they say he is, then I'm more than merry to welcome that.
Well, it's very interesting. Obviously, no running back out of the portal. That was a big talk all along, and maybe it was because they thought Jamal Rule would come up here and be able to show out. And you're right. I mean, we've heard it from several coaches. He might run them. I was like when they said, "Hey, he might be the best runner among the group." It's like, well, it's running backs, right? And I get it. There's other things that play into it with pass protection and different types of runs and all that sort of stuff. Receiving out of the backfield. But if you can say that out of a freshman coming in. Maybe that's why they didn't go to the portal, is they thought they already advanced the room with Jamal Rule from the high school ranks. So we'll see. Mekhi Nelson, of course, showed some of that speed in the game against Utah. He's going to get an opportunity. Of course, Mosey's a young player. He's going to try to progress himself. And then Quentin Ives was a guy that they were impressed in with short yardage in that bowl game. So, it might be a running back by committee. And it might start as a running back by committee before someone takes it over. And we'll have to see. The spring game should be a pretty good view for a few of those guys to see what they're bringing to the table. But, specifically, too, again, for people that want to go see the spring game, there is a lot of talk about, when I say a lot of talk, and they're keeping it contained to a degree, but at least here locally about the linebackers that are kind of taking over. Certainly, we've been impressed with Vincent Shavers in his career here at Nebraska. Maybe a little bit of a sophomore slump. As he brought up quite a bit, harder to play with a cast on as a linebacker. There's a lot of grabbing you need to do, but so maybe that kind of contributed to that. But yeah, right now it's kind of looking like some of the newcomers in Owen Chandler, who of course knows the San Diego State defense, played for Rob Orge over there at San Diego State. The defense coming in, and then Dexter Foster from Oregon State, who was their leading tackler before he got injured. I've been making some waves there as well. So some of the newcomers, certainly on the offensive line, the defensive line, a lot to digest there in the upcoming week for Nebraska spring football. And get a look at them when we're able to on Saturday.
All right, Bock, as we get ready to close the show out, Adam Carrick is up next, and he's going to talk basketball. But Adam, I wanted to ask Adam how he's going to talk basketball when I watched him shoot. So somebody asked me, Grant Wisdom and Jason Peters asked me yesterday, did you see the video of Adam? So Adam's going viral in a different way. I don't know if I should ask him.
We got to ask him. I'm glad you brought that up. I had forgotten about that. He did not perform too well, and it was like a basketball shooting challenge. But it looked like it was a Harlem Globetrotters or some sort of event. But yeah, he missed a few layups. So he can't. We're gonna if he could criticize anybody playing basketball, we're gonna have to bring that up.
Yeah, we will. We'll get him on that. All right, thank you for listening to Bock and the Black Shirt. Don't forget to watch the women's Huskers play at 1 p.m. today as they versus Baylor. Come down to Buffalo Wild Wings, 68 Buffalo Wings and Rings, 68th and O. We'll be here to 6 p.m. today. Gifts will be given out every hour. Just come down here and have some fun with the guys. I'm Bock. He's Bock. I'm Terrell. We're out.
You're listening to March Mayhem, live coverage of the NCAA tournament from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Looking to get a room downtown or near South Lincoln? Abe Lincoln would tell you no to the Ford Theater and yes to Lincoln Hotel. Save up to 40% off downtown Lincoln prices with a nice clean room and comfortable stay.